getting you ahead of your job search by reviewing your resumes. The resume we have up first is a software engineer intern, but every single internship is basically the same with the exception of master's and PhD level interns. So yeah, it doesn't have to be software engineer. It could be literally any others. And what every single internship ever needs is your degree, a basic knowledge of the industry. In this case, for software engineer, it's going to be language, library, SQL, cloud. For machine learning, it would be a little bit of machine learning, AI, and probably Python. For an accountant, it would be GAAP, and a couple of other things I don't have off the top of my head. For HR, do they even do HR interns, actually? But it would be basic, like maybe a little bit of recruiting and then HRIS work. So again, very basic knowledge of that. The thing that every single intern messes up on, though, is the ability to work well with others and takes direction and criticism. You need to put that down. This is your first office job. The amount of interns that go to the office for the first time and cause drama is much higher than you would think. That is why that qualification is there. So, can I find those qualifications in 20 seconds? I don't know, but that's how long recruiters have to look at it. That is all the time we have. So, let's begin. All right, trained in learning models. Okay. CUDA, I don't know what that is, and I don't need it. Reinforcement learning, and we're doing agentic stuff. Snake, these are nothing what I would be looking for. OpenAI is nice, and Skibbity Learn. You said software engineer. This is like a machine learning. This is... What is this? Okay. So yeah, this would be a definite pass. What did this person say? So their ratio is 150 to 1, and what a ratio is how many applications it takes to get an interview. You can gauge how successful your resume is by that ratio. Ideally, you want between 50 to 1, so 50 applications to get one interview, or less. Anything lower than that is great. Anything above that is a problem. I will say we are in November, December, and recruitment shuts down hard during that time, so your ratio doesn't fully count until January. But it's a good way to previously keep track of it if you did. So this person stated, I had a tough time getting internships. So far, I've only had one interview. Need help on my resume? Yes, you do. I think there's something that's majorly wrong. Yes, there is. So first off, you told me software engineer. This reads like a machine learning engineer or some kind of AI engineer. Those are different roles. Can software engineers do AI? Yes, they can. But when you're hiring specifically for a software engineer, you want basic software engineer stuff. When you're hiring for a machine learning engineer, you want different stuff. And in fact, let's look at the basic qualifications and how they are different. So for an intern for machine learning, I still need the ability to work well with others, degree, and take criticism. But I would need a little bit of Python, a little bit of SQL, PyTorch, TensorFlow, Cloud, maybe a little bit of LLM, AI, generative AI, ChatGPT, and again, take direction and criticism. And I don't need all of the above. I just need some of the above. And I actually barely see that. PyTorch I do see, which was good, and I don't think I saw Python. But yeah, this is a terrible resume. I'm going to be very blunt with you. You are not a terrible person. This does not reflect on how good you are as an engineer, but this resume is absolute garbage. And the reason for that is multiple things. One, formatting's atrocious. If you want a good format, use this. Yes, it looks boring and basic, but that is the point. This is flashy and fancy and difficult to read, and the easier it is to read, the more of it I can read in the 20 seconds I have. So the link to this is on my is in the link below on my website. This is a little bit of the guide to do it, along with my resume creation guide. Again, all free, but this is really difficult to read. Like, for real, just unbold all of this. The second, and I would say more critical issue, is you have absolutely nothing I would be looking for in a software engineer. For an intern, you have some of what I would be looking for in a machine learning or AI engineer intern, but not quite enough. So you filled it with RL, which is reinforcement learning, which is also what you can do to create like MAS, which is multi-agent systems, and MCTS-based search, which I don't know what that is, or novel algorithms for 3x3 matrix products. Like, none of this is relevant. You have filled this with things that I do not care about. And to use a metaphor, you own a restaurant. and I go to you, Mr. John Doe, and I say, hey, John Doe, I really, really, really want a plain hamburger with one pickle. And what you gave me was a plate of spaghetti. And it does not matter how good that plate of spaghetti is. All that matters is it's not what I wanted. And this contains nothing of what I want. So you need to do the very basics. Because, like, if you look at this for machine learning, this is not 3x3 matrix or N8N workflows or Redis or 20 plus tenant inquiries. It is Python, C, SQL, PyTorch, TensorFlow, Cloud, LLM, AI, Generative AI, ChatGPT. I will say LangChain and LangGraph are probably going to be beneficial as well for machine learning. But those are what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for whatever it is you put here. And then if I was going for a software engineer, I would want, let's just say, Python, Docker, Django, SQL, and maybe Cloud. And RESTful APIs. But you gave me none of that. You gave me, I don't know what this is, and it's not useful. So not just is the tech stack not what I'm looking for, it's also that you do not tell me how you work together as a team, how you took direction and criticism. I don't need every single bullet to be direction and criticism, but I do need some. This is potentially your first corporate job, and they want to make sure they're not holding a giant mess of a person that will explode into rage at them when you critique them. And that is critical. Is it ridiculous? Yes. Yes, it is. Recruiting can be very ridiculous, but this is what is going to get you hired. So if you ever need more help, you can always join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST. And please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. And the live stream link is below, but it's twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. That is where I get these qualifications. That is where I answer questions that I cannot just do over YouTube. But yeah, for everybody else watching at home, we're going to the next resume. This is a resume of a architectural designer. So before I get to this one, I want to state that somebody completely docks themselves and their resume is going to get rejected. So going forward, if you submit a resume that does not remove your contact information, your email, your phone number, and your name, it is going to get rejected. I unfortunately have too many people, and that is the instructions on my website. So one person is unfortunately not going to get seen, which is pretty accurate to what it really is in the work world, is you need to read the instructions on the website. Even if you mass apply, you still need to make sure you read their internal instructions. So this person did not dox themselves, and what we are looking for in an architectural designer is degree in architecture or related fields, Adobe creative suites or suites such as Photoshop and InDesign, and a couple of others like 3D, 2D, working on or planned path to an architectural license, Microsoft Office suites, experience with AutoCAD, Bluebeam, and Revit, multitasking, speaking to different people in communication, BIM, which is building information modeling tools, and processes such as ACC and Procore, and your driver's license. You do not have to submit your whole driver's license, but you can do under your education, just say valid driver's license, and that's fine. And a bonus for Rhino and Dynamo. So let's see if I can find that in 20 seconds. Also, you should be getting more than 1 in 50. This is a very hot industry from what I can tell. I saw jobs that were easy apply that were posted 3 weeks ago and did not even have 100 applicants. So a good version of this resume, I'm going to say, is actually going to be a 1 in 10 to a 1 in 20, just based on how hot this market is. So away we go. Oh, this is an absolute nightmare. Okay, where is this? Okay, software, okay. Resident Clubhouse vacancies, Revit, okay. Alright, so because this is a hot industry, I get 40 seconds instead, so we're redoing it. Let's see if I can find anything here. Okay, you say you're on the path to the license. 3D models, okay. This is a terrible resume, but, okay, yeah, that's it. Alright, because of the lack of candidates, this might pass, but this is not a good resume. This is what happens when the job market is good, is a resume like this that barely contains anything I need, but has the hint of something I need, will get moved forward in some but not all roles while in a normal market, it would not. But again, this is a pretty hot market. There are less than 72 people that apply to, I think, a fully remote role on Easy Apply in 3 weeks. That means there's not a lot of candidates and companies cannot get picky. So if you want to know what a good job market is, a good job market is when this terrible resume can get moved forward. So let's see what they wrote. 1 in 50. Yeah, this should be higher than 1 in 50. I am an international graduate, okay, with a master's from Chicago, currently authorized to work in the U.S. on a STEM OPT. I'm seeking full-time opportunities in other major cities, advancing my skills, integrated design. I'm particularly interested in roles that offer mentorship, and I'm available to start immediately and open to relocation. Okay, so a couple of things here. This is not a good resume, but you're in the right industry. So I don't know how the H-1B stuff works in the architectural design, if there's any difference than it is primarily in software engineering in like what they're looking for, but you need to fix your resume because you should be getting more than 1 in 50. You need to make your resume look like this. You need to make it one column, and then I need you to take this stuff, in fact, almost everything in these right down here, and put them into bullet points. Okay, that is what I need you to do. Because you are expecting that the facilitating the documentation for a 252 unit mixed use development for 10K is what we're looking for. It's not. We're really just looking for this. And I was just looking through those job descriptions. It's this. This, develop and maintain Revit families, is a fine bullet point. I would like a little bit more. Again, you are lucky. You are in a hot market. Software engineers cannot get away with this. Most other people cannot get away with this. A nurse could get away with this. Nurses, you just see nurse in the license in 2 years and you move them forward to an interview. But yeah, and like this down here, which nobody can see because it's too far down, it says, created and delivered detailed schematic designs and 3D models. Good, I would be looking for 3D, for residential and small-scale commercial projects, enhancing client satisfaction. I want you to write the rest of your resume like that without the enhancing client satisfaction part. That's unneeded. But I just need this stuff in here. And if you do that, your ratio should be much higher. Now, I will say, if you're looking to relocate, you cannot just say open to relo. You have to state moving to X by Y date, can move earlier if needed. Because unless a company is already prepared for relocation, my phone was buzzing. Unless a company is already prepared for relocation, relocating is a giant yellow flag bordering on red. And you need to prove that you're going to be moving to that location beforehand. So, again, terrible resume, but you're in the right industry, and this is when a resume may not matter as much, is because if you're a nurse, if they see you've got 2 years of nursing experience, boom, they're going to move you forward. But you should be getting more than 1 in 50, even as an international, and the fact that your resume is this bad is why it's tanking your ratio. You should be getting 1 in 10, maybe 1 in 15. So, let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a machine learning intern. So what we're looking for in a machine learning intern is, well, the same thing we were last time. I did see out of the corner of my eye into this abomination that they were a master's student. So we're going to need a little bit more than normal, in which case this is what you would need to be a actual machine learning engineer. And we're going to need about, like, instead of 75% of this, which is what you usually need to move forward, we're going to need about 50%. So, degree, machine learning, models, LLM, NLP, generative AI, Python, R, C++, Cloud, SQL, TensorFlow, PyTorch, Scikit-learn, Pandas, NumPy, LangChain, RAG, also probably anything involving agentic or MAS. Customer-facing stakeholders, clients, you need to be the subject matter expert. You won't need to do fully that one for an internship. And a bonus for CAD, FEA, Git, CI/CD, finite element analysis, and APIs. And not a bonus, but you do need to do it. Takes direction, criticisms, and work well with others. So let's see if I can find it in 20 seconds. And again, this is a nightmare resume. All right. Code quality, don't care. API, maybe. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. There is literally nothing here. Wow, yeah, there's absolutely nothing here. This is a completely blank resume. Again, I cannot use anything in a skill section. anything in a skill section is declined, right? That does not count, because what a qualification is, right? I'm not looking for keywords. I'm looking for qualifications. And what a qualification is, it's helpful to think of it as a math problem. You need the keyword. I know it is. Some people call them keyword. In this case, this stuff. You need to show me how you did it and the reason or result of doing it and where you did it. And if you do not show me those 4 things, it does not equal a qualification, and your resume will get yeeted and deleted. That is why skill sections don't work, is if I was just only looking for keywords, then yeah, this would be, well, actually, this one doesn't say anything I need either, but it would just be like this part. But I'm not. It's a math problem. You need to solve the math problem to equal a qualification, and if you do not equal a qualification, you do not get moved forward. So this is a resume you need to burn and then scatter its ashes into space and never look at it again. So you really need to change up everything about this. But let me see what your note says. I am currently a computer science student seeking internships or entry-level roles in data science. You said ML engineer. A data science and intern is different than a machine learning intern. Those are different roles. I am aware that there is, they both use some of the same stuff, but there are companies that will reject you because you do not have enough experience in software engineering compared to data science and vice versa. Those are different roles. You need to be very specific. This is what I was looking for through the lens of a machine learning engineer. I need you to be specific. Otherwise, you're not going to get anything. It took me almost 2 years after my end of study internship to land my first job. Yeah, because this resume is a nightmare. And that company came through referral. Yeah, so you didn't even use the resume. I'd appreciate feedback on how best to position my academic projects and skills since I've struggled to get interviews from direct applications. So, oh boy. Yeah, bro, you need to delete this and redo it. There's nothing salvageable here. I literally don't see anything. So, at least in the US, I do not want to ever see your picture. Ever. I don't need your picture. It is not helpful. All it can do is hurt you from some less scrupulous people that may discriminate against you. But even if they're not going to discriminate against you, which I do not discriminate based on that, it's irrelevant. I don't need your smiling face. I don't need any of that. I just need what's in the bullet points to show me the qualifications, which you did not show. So I said this earlier, but you really need to do this. There is, again, nothing in this resume that is salvageable. I need you to go to my website, go to the part where it shows the resume templates, read through that guide, because there is a basic understanding of how recruiters search for jobs that you are not understanding. And I could spend maybe 30 minutes picking apart this, but literally nothing works. There are no qualifications that I can see. The formatting is terrible. And you apparently gave me the qualifications to a role you're not applying to. Are you going to data science or are you going for machine learning? They are adjacent, but they are different resumes, and I need you to be aware of that fact. So that is what I'm going to need you to do, because there's literally too much. I don't even know what to say about this because there's literally nothing. You submitted an entirely blank page. So yeah, you need to read the guide, go back to a basic understanding of what a resume is for, which is to show that you meet the qualifications. And again, qualifications math problem. Keyword plus how plus reason or result plus where, which is in this case under a job, a project, or an internship, equals qualification. With the exception of that is education. You should still put your education up. That is good to have, but you don't need all of these high school stuff. You just need the last 2 in your case. Or actually, you just need this. You don't need anything else but this. This is the only one you need. So that is what I'm looking for, is qualifications, not just keywords. Otherwise, your skill section would have worked. But I need you to pick your resume, because if you're using the same resume for a software engineer, for a machine learning engineer, and a data science intern, right, all 3 interns, you're going to fail. Your resume is tailored to the job title you want, not the individual job, but it needs to be specific. Next resume. This is a resume of I don't know. You committed a very bad resume sin, which is you did not specify which software engineer you are, or any type of person you are. So when you're looking for, like, specifically, this is tech recruitment thing, is when you're looking for software engineers, you need to pick a stack. We are typically, in most cases, looking for a stack. Is it possible we're looking for stack agnostic roles? Yeah, they exist. I'm on them right now, but they're rare. And I'm telling you right now, as someone who has recruited for stack agnostic roles, the vast majority of the market is going to be one of these 5 stacks. There are like a couple of others like Ruby on Rails and all that good stuff, but these are the 5 main ones. So full stack backend, Python backend, Java backend, C#.net, and front end. So what I'm going to do is roll a D6, and whichever one that lands on, since you did not tell me, I am going to review it as. Probably not going to be any of them because a lot of new grad software engineers are terrible, but that's the case. So it is a 3. So we are reviewing this as a C#.net dev. So let me get that up real quick. But you may be asking me, I've never done C#.net. Well, tough. You didn't tell me what you are. You have to show me and write that when you're submitting roles what you are. You need to pick a stack. This is one of the most important things for a software engineer to do. Again, if you're going like AI engineer, that is a separate role, but specifically for like pure normal basic software stuff, you pick a stack. So for C#.net, we're looking for C#.net, SQL, Cloud, Azure, AWS, GCP, MVS, Microsoft Visual Studio, which is what I thought MVP was in the last video, and I was incorrect, which I'm probably going to get roasted on in the comments for. Git, Agile, RESTful APIs, CI/CD, front end. They want a lot of front end. JavaScript, HTML, CSS, cross-functional DevOps, and ASP.NET. Why DevOps? Oh, it's common though. It's what they're looking for. So I will give this 20 seconds to find out if I can see it. Also, this person did try and remove their personal information, but they failed. So that is okay. I cannot scroll up. The reason you were going to get rejected by me is if you do not even try to remove your education. They are just not aware of how it shows up on stream. So 20 seconds. Oh, no, still has to actually start and go. Oh, I hate this. Okay, Python, not looking for that. Cross-functional, okay. APIs is fine. Don't care about TypeScript. Raspberry, don't care about RTOs. Nothing. C++, there we go. The first thing I'm actually looking for. Yeah, this is a terrible resume. All right. This would absolutely get rejected. So let me read what they wrote, and they'll probably tell me what they actually are. I try to tailor my resume. Ooh, no, never tailor your resume for each job. That's bad based on how ATSs work. You need to tailor it based on the job title, not the job itself. This is why you need to tailor your resume to, like, software engineer full stack or software engineer Python backend. Or if you're not in tech, which is fine, you need to be very specific, such as like accountant or sales versus customer service, right? Those are different roles. If your resume is too broad, it will get rejected. So be very specific. And the reason you are failing is because, again, you are customizing your resume for each and every job, which is bad. That lowers your chances based on how ATSs work. ATSs work on a first-come, first-served basis. The quicker you apply, the better your chances. The next question you're probably going to be is like, so how many hours after it's posted? And it's not how many hours after it's posted, it's how many other applicants have already applied. If they've already been another 100 applicants, you probably will not get seen. Sometimes that can happen in 20 minutes. Sometimes that can happen over 3 months. Sometimes 3 weeks, like the architectural design one. Easy apply job, been up for 3 weeks, 72 people. If you apply, you will get seen. Software engineer, if it's been up for an entry-level remote software engineer, that thing's going to fill up in the first 40 minutes. So that's how that works. I also look for new grad ML and data science roles. I try to get referrals when I can. What do you mean try to get referrals? So a lot of people will randomly cold call people in the company and be like, can you refer me? That does absolutely nothing. A referral has to be from somebody who is or directly knows the hiring manager that has seen you work. Otherwise, you're wasting your time and their time, because any other type of referral just does not matter. So this doesn't have anything I need for actually anything, really. Like, you have filled this resume with junk. Like, why? I'm not looking for sub 300 open search queries or ingested cases. Python is fine, like built a Python security incident response tool. That's good, but well, the rest of this I need a little bit more. Like if I was looking for Python, I would say Python, Docker, Django, RESTful APIs, and maybe AWS or cloud, any other type of cloud. But yeah, you have like nothing here for any of this. You need to pick a stack. Now, you may not know what's in a stack, and that's okay. Just let me know in the comments below. I will link you what I found for that particular stack. It is specific to the US. Sometimes those qualification lists don't translate outside the US. They're usually like, instead of 95% accurate, they're like 80% accurate. But if you need to know let me know which one you're going for, and tell me in the comments below, and I will give you the link to what it actually we're looking for is it. But this has nothing I need. I see really like two things I'm looking for, which is AWS, but you ruined it by saying AWS API. Again, if Java is different than JavaScript, then we can assume that AWS is different than AWS API, even if it's not. So I need you to go back to the drawing board and not remake this for every role. That's why you're having an issue, and actually have stuff that I need in it. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a full stack software engineer. So what we're looking for in full stack is degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, Node.js, Angular, Next.js, GraphQL, SQL, React.js, API, RESTful API, Cloud, Agile, CI/CD, cross-functionally, and .NET or Python or Java, and a bonus points for architecture, extra language, Git, and DevOps. So let's see if we can find that. This person, I think, has a bad ratio. But let's see, 20 seconds. Also, they used my name at the top instead of unknown, which is really throwing me off. I feel like I am being gaslit by this resume that, did I write this? I don't know. So, and go. Okay, formatting's perfect. Love it. Okay, with a minor in CS. So ChatGPT is not needed to an enterprise C#. Okay, good. I need more. Deployed JavaScript. Okay. Don't need this here. SQL is good. Not sure I need JSON. Nothing. And then all the way at the bottom is a little bit of stuff I need. So this is why the formatting is good. I can go longer. But formatting is 30% of your grade. I would rather a resume have absolutely horrendous formatting than bad bullet points. And unfortunately, while this formatting is perfect, the bullet points are not good. So the biggest problem is there's just not enough, really. Like, I don't see TypeScript, and sometimes C# can be replacement, so can Python or .NET or Java for the TypeScript. But a bigger issue is the only things I really see that are related is three things in this entire wall of text, right? SQL, good. JavaScript, good. C#, well, I think I'd prefer probably .NET, but whatever, it should be okay. And then that's it. And then we go all the way down here until I find Java or HTML and CSS. So the formatting is perfectly fine. It's just there's not enough here to move you forward, right? Like, that's the biggest issue is I don't see, like, I saw JavaScript. I need more, right? Like, I shouldn't have to scroll all the way down here to the part where I see HTML and CSS. Your very first bullet point, if you're going for full stack, should be created or used or integrated or whatever you want to start it with, a blank, which in this case may be Java or C# or .NET or Python, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, and SQL in an AWS or whatever environment. The problem is I just don't find enough. This has like 10 to 15% of what I need, and I need more. I need more than SQL and JavaScript and HTML and CSS in one language. I need Angular or Node or Next.js or GraphQL. I need some kind of cloud. I need Agile. I need CI/CD cross-functionally. I just need more. And that is the problem with this resume, is it is perfectly formatted, but the entire point of formatting is so I could read your bullet points, and your bullet points just have like nothing in them. This is the equivalent of, despite all they wrote, there's only really one sentence worth of information that would be considered a qualification for a full stack role. So that's all I can do for this resume. They are in chat, so I'm going to help them out after. But if anybody else needs more help, you can always stop by my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. And I'm here to help you all get ahead of your job search, and I'll see you all in the next video.